We've got the first rate starting to come up. We'll address the open and then get down to individual names as we always do. So the pre-open is settled 80 points down on the Nifty and about 236 points lower on the Sensex. What do we have? So 24,600 on the Nifty and 53,440 on the Bank Nifty, both down about 0.26%. The Sensex is down something similar, about 1/3% lower. Mid-caps are absolutely flat. The mid-cap index, the mid-cap 100 index is absolutely flat, nothing on it. And you got mostly, actually about 38, 39 names out of the 50 Nifty stocks up on your screen, which are opening in the red. And it's a small cohort of names, which actually is higher at this point in time. So it's a subdued start, at least as far as the word go is concerned.
Well, in terms of the frontline action, Cipla is the top Nifty gainer on the back of the Kotak upgrade to buy. Target price set at more than 1,700, 1,725. The current market price is 1,475. So there is a fair amount of upside. Wipro has opened up in the green, though on the flip side, Infy is down nearly 1%. Now, CLSA in a note says that Infy is now getting into weak H2 seasonality, with Q4 even weaker than Q3. But they say Wipro could see another leg of re-rating if they announce any capital allocation changes. And for Wipro this morning, there is that small tuck-in acquisition of $40 million that the company has done. So Wipro is holding up in the green, not much, but the rest of the IT pack is still down. So Infy down more than 1%, TCS down close to about 0.5%. Reliance Industries is weak in trade, so now that's the top Nifty loser as we kickstart trade. Shriram Finance, M&M, Eicher Motors, so some of the auto stocks too, a bit on the back foot. Though Tata Motors is holding up in the green. But all in all, about 90 points gone on the Nifty. Sensex down close to about 300 points. Mid-caps flip-flopping between the red and the green line.
Well, that's right. Just take a look at a few of these stocks that are moving well. Piramal Pharma up close around 4%. The initiating coverage clearly having an impact on the stock. It's moving up. Enviro Infra, we're moving from strength to strength. Keep in mind, this float issue needs to be kept in mind as well, because some of them, the float is quite limited on them. But that stock, from the word go itself, from the time of listing, that's done well. Gravitas, Abhishek had told us that they're going to be doing a QIP. Yes, they're doing the QIP. And now, in fact, it seems demand is quite good. So that's why that stock, in fact, is seeing a good amount of traction. And they've gone ahead and increased the size as well. A few more notable movers. We have, Chambal Fertilizers, the one that's up close to around 2% as we speak. So good up move is what we're seeing on that one. On the flip side, we have HCC. Well, that stock is coming for some mild profit taking as we speak. So that's down close to around 2%. They as well are considering raising some money. The breadth of the market continues to do well. And there's a lot of stocks actually that are moving around. Nahar Poly, we don't normally talk about this stock. Volume's pretty okay. A lakh, shares have been traded. The stock is up close to around 15%. So big move is what we're seeing out there. Fairchem Organics, that's another stock that's moved up. It's moving very, very well. So that one as well, up and about in today's trading session. So both of them, big movers out there. On the flip side, a few stocks on the downside. Just to highlight a couple of them, TFCI Finance, so that's rather strong. You have KPR Mills, again, it's down close to around 2.5% or thereabouts. But yesterday, from the lows of the day, that one did see a bit of an uptake. So Prashant, Rima, story same. Nifty is a little bit lower, but the mid-cap index, plenty of stocks doing well.
No, absolutely. And, you've got 1,230 stocks which are higher and about 900, just under 900 stocks which are lower at this point in time. So it's definitely more up than down. The biggest volume-led gainer is a stock called EIEL. It's a 5.5%. It's moved up very sharply. It's the biggest. It's got the largest amount of volume as well. From 270, it's moved up to about 350 in the last 3 days, basically. So that's something which we don't see very often. Texmaco Rail is coming up with about a 4% gain. So these, some amount of enthusiasm in some of these railway stocks. Kernex and Texmaco and ancillary companies like HBL Power, etc. have also, of course, done very well. Gravita India is up 5% this morning, 4.5%, 5%. Something like a Donier, again, it doesn't come up at all, but 12.5% higher on Donier. And it's a big move. 2 days back, stock left off at 130. In 2 days, this is the second day, by the way, from 130 to 180. in a short time span, with 100,000 shares to boot as well. Shakti Pumps is coming up was up 5% yesterday. Again, it's up another 2% or so, starting higher. Premier Explosives was a big mover lately. 2 days back was at 470, 590 this morning. So these are all, the moves are so fast-paced that it's very difficult to keep track. Quest Corp is another one, which is coming up with 5%. I think we mentioned that earlier on. Oriana Power, I think it's a SME. I think it's a SME. 4.5%. It's got some decent investors though. 4.5% or so. CSB Bank is coming up with about a 6% pop at about 324 as things stand right now. Prestige is another one which is up about 2%. So stocks at about 1,870 odd rupees or so. Lots of movers coming through. Swiggy was a big 12% mover yesterday. That's coming off a little bit. There is HCC, Shriram Finance. Walkart was a big mover. Walkart is down about 1.25%. Colgate is down 1%. TARC, which is, run by the same sort of family, but I think different people like Anantraj. That's a real estate company out of NCR. Is down 4%, 4.5%. And so it goes. So lots of stuff coming around. But on the Nifty, not very much to show for it. 70 odd points lower, 24,600 or so is where we are at.
There's one note on paint. Investec has written on it, and they're saying the demand continues to remain weak. So demand in Q3 continues to remain subdued, but competition is now picking up. So on Birla Opus, they say it's steadily gaining traction among customers. Positive feedback on product quality, customer inquiries have also gone up due to marketing initiatives. More than 10% of the paint dealers in the MMR region are now giving shelf space to Birla Opus. So, competition is intense while demand is weak. And some of these frontline paint companies like Asian Paints, Berger Paints are down nearly about 0.5%.
It'll be quite interesting to see what comes out of this, because as of now, Birla Opus is reporting sales of close to around 400 crores per quarter. And you know how much Asian Paints does? Around 8,400 crores. And still, in fact, they're feeling the pressure. So as that one ramps up, we'll have to see how that goes, because as of now, you're talking about 400 crores of sales. That's the sale that's going towards the dealership, and then from there it takes off. And they are doing 8,500 crores, so it's still very, very small. The problem is they're going to scale up, and they have the distribution as well. So I guess that's what's going to plague them.
It's the leader which the leader's got the most to lose, and the new guy's got nothing to lose. You play like you've got nothing to lose. Yeah. So we'll have to see. Of course, it's an interesting area. But remember, the sector is also growing. That is the other point. Over a long period of time, it's not one at the expense of other, maybe in the very near term, but as the sector keeps growing, there is space for more players as well.